Hello everyone, welcome to Wicked West Books. I am Meg West, and today I'm doing my January wrap-up. I am very excited about my wrap-up this month because this year I've decided I'm going to take on reading 100 books during the year of 2016. And I got the year off to a fantastic start. This last month of January, I managed to read 11 books, and I am so beyond proud of that, and I'm ready to see what the rest of the year has in hold for me. So let's go ahead and get started with what I read in January. The first two books that I picked up were Written in Red and Murder of Crows by Anne Bishop. These books were fantastic. I want to say that Anne Bishop is one of my most favorite authors, but I've only ever really liked one of her series before. The Black Jewels series was fantastic, absolutely beautiful, and has a place in my heart for forever. But this one was almost as good. Now these are the first two books of the other series. They are a urban fantasy that is different from all the rest of the urban fantasies because the monsters never started hiding. They have always been there, we have always known they've been there, and it changes the way the world works quite a bit. The main character in this story is Meg, and she is a Cassandra Sangue. She is a blood prophet. It has developed that these girls are put into special homes where their owners don't take very good care of them. They sell off the profits that they can do at thousands of dollars per prophecy. The prophecy is caused by cutting the girl, and from the pain she gets a prophecy about whatever it was she was thinking of when the cut happened. Meg has had enough of it, and she escapes. She finds herself in a courtyard. Courtyard is where the others live. It is a place where human law does not apply, and mostly the people who live there are shapeshifters. Of course, you have werewolves, there are werehawks, there's a grizzly bear, and there are lots and lots of ravens. They also have vampires and elementals. It's a fantastic book by one of my most favorite authors, and it was a fantastic way to start out the new year. After that, I picked up Our Tragic Universe by Scarlett Thomas. This was a Christmas present from my best friend, and I did a full review video on it. I will link that down below. This is kind of a contemporary novel set in England. It is very British. It takes place in Dartmouth. This book's main character is also named Meg, and she is a book reviewer for her newspaper. Meg accidentally reviews the wrong book for the newspaper, and because of that one little mistake, her life just kind of spirals into a completely different place. And it was really fun to read a book that is about how books can change your life. After Our Tragic Universe, I wanted something that would be a little more fun, a little bit more fast-paced, and this book has been sitting on my TBR for about a year, so I thought it was about time that I actually read it. The 100 by Cass Morgan. This is the book that the show, The 100, is based off of, and let me just say that this is one of the times when I like the TV show adaptation better than I liked the actual book. That's not to say I didn't like the book, I just thought the show was better. This is a book set way in the future after Earth has been devastated by nuclear war. They all got on a spaceship, went to outer space, and for some reason, we're not exactly sure why at the beginning, 100 of the passengers who are on that ship are chosen, because they're criminals, to be sent down to Earth. They're not sure Earth is habitable yet, but they really need to find out, so they send these 100 criminals down to Earth, and it just kind of follows their story. It is a fairly light read. It was very fast. I think I read it in a day. So the next book I chose has a nice little saying on the cover, and it is that not all princes are charming. The first book in the three books that are out right now is, of course, Charming, which I then followed with Daring, and then the third book is Fearless, all by Elliot James. Now this series started out really strong. Charming was a reread for me, and it was really good. I enjoyed it just as much this second time as I did the first time. Daring had some issues for me that I didn't particularly like, but I was willing to push through. I didn't particularly like Fearless almost at all, and My problem is that when you start out a series, you can be a lone wolf character, and then you join a group, and then there's a period of time where you find out where exactly you fit in with the group, and once that's figured out, everything goes along great. The problem is that the group he joins isn't quite sure how everyone works together in the first place, and him joining it does not cause everything to solidify into a great thing. By the end of book 3, this group is still having problems finding out where they fit in the dynamic, and that was really getting annoying for me. The good thing about the Daring series is that it does go into lots of other cultures as far as the mythical creatures they pulls from. It's not all werewolves and witches and vampires. It does pull from Native American. Fearless is very strong in its Asian cultured monsters. So that was a plus side. I will read book 4 to see if maybe things start coming together, but it could be a series that I probably just give up on because of this whole not interacting well together, and that's not a fun thing to read for your main characters, in my opinion. And my 8th book for the year was Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I loved this book. This book was fantastic. It got a 4 solid stars rating from me, and I'm very much looking forward to the second book in this duology. I'm sure you're probably getting tired of hearing all about Passenger, or maybe I've just been watching every single video that mentions Passenger on booktube, but it is essentially a time-traveling treasure hunt, and my favorite thing about this has to actually be the romance. There have been a lot of people who are saying it's very insta-romancy, and knowing that before going in, I kept an eye out for it, and I didn't see it quite as much, but I read a lot of romance, so I know when that insta-romance just kind of smacks you over the head and is way over the top. I've read those, and this wasn't quite so bad. It was fairly quick for them to fall in love, but they're in an emergency situation, emotions are firing, things happen quickly, so there's that. What I absolutely love, though, is that Nicholas, the ship captain that she meets, is, as Jessie the reader phrased it, a man of color. And I loved the way that played into their relationship, because he was born in a time where he was actually born a slave, and so he's got some doubts and some self-conscious issues and a kind of jaded view on life because of the way that he's been treated, and I absolutely loved the way that played into how their relationship worked. And I thought that was really well done. After that, it was my first time travel novel that I've ever read. I have had this book sitting on my shelf for just a little while, and since I was in the mood for more time traveling, I picked up Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier. And right after I finished Ruby Red, I picked up Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier, which is the only book on this haul I don't actually own yet. I need to find a matching copy. First, let me say, what is up with these ridiculously beautiful covers for these time-traveling novels? They are gorgeous. Now on a slightly less... I did not like the 2 books of Ruby Red that I have read as anywhere near as much as Passenger. I recommend Passenger a lot more than I recommend Ruby Red, and I haven't read Emerald Green yet. I do plan on it because it is a good storyline, and I would like to know what happens. And the main thing is that there are 12 time travelers in this universe, and she is the final one in chronological order. They've collected the blood of all of the travelers before her. Someone stole that blood, and now they are going back in time to try and recollect the blood to finish the circle and find out what the secret is. And I'm curious to know what the secret is, but I'm getting really annoyed with this main character. Gwen is getting on my nerves because I just can't relate to her, mostly. It's not really that she's dumb, because she's not. I think she is, but I've got a few more years of experience in things of the paranormal than she does, and it's just irritating because it's saying things like she has the power of the Raven, and they're asking her what her secret power is, and she doesn't even think for 1 second that it could be the fact that she sees ghosts. Doesn't cross her mind. Her friend points it out. Her friend, who doesn't see ghosts, who knows she sees ghosts, is the one who says, hey, maybe this is your magical power. And she's like, huh, maybe it is, but I don't think it is. It's not that weird to be a magic power. And she's really just getting on my nerves. So I'm taking a break from this series, but I do intend to pick up the final book in the series. And the final book that I read this year, I was so excited to start because I loved everything else that I've read by her. Granted, that's only really one series, but I picked up The Siren by Kira Cass. Now, I love the Selection series. I absolutely love it. It is fairly mindless, which is why I picked it up, but it shocks you at the same time with just kind of how well thought out it is and how detailed the characters are, and the progression of what happens is just kind of so natural. The Siren is good. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it anywhere near as much as the Selection series. If you want an insta-love, this is the insta-love. Even more than Passenger, she meets him once, has a almost conversation. She can't actually talk, so she just kind of waves her hand at him. Meets him again, bakes a cake together, and is madly 100% in love. And is in love to the point where his life is in danger, so she runs away from him and stays away for about a year, meets him again, puts him in more even grave peril, and then runs away again. And this is the kind of book where if you want something that's really easy to read, go for it. If you want something that's very, very well detailed and put together and elaborate, it's not The Siren. The Siren, I think, actually gets a little bit worse, in my opinion, the more I try to analyze it, so that's all I'm really going to say on it. Good book, if you want to read it, good for you, but it's kind of on par with, like, the Ruby Red series, and if there was another book, I'm not sure I would get it. It's just fine as a standalone. Okay, so that's all I really have for you guys today. I'm sure you're ready to stop listening to me talk about the books that I read for this past month, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap all of this up. I am looking forward to the rest of the reading year. I got off to a great start. I hope you did too. If you have read any of the books I just showed you, I would love to hear your opinions below. I would love to talk to you guys about the books that I just finished reading, or the books that you just finished reading. So comment below if you have anything you want to say to me, and I will see you guys next time. Have a wicked day.